Dan Illman, Mike Beer, race number 9 at Churchill Downs on a graded stakes-laden Saturday evening card is the Grade 3 Regret Stakes for 3-year-old fillies. Let's take a look at this field. It should be a sensational betting race. We've got 13 entrants. The morning line favorite is down towards the inside at 5-1. That's the number 1, Heavenly Love, who's getting a little bit of class relief. She was in against Rushing Fall last time out.
Yeah, they tried the Appalachian with her on yielding ground. I don't think she ran. It looks like maybe she didn't do any running in that race. I don't know if that's the case. I feel like she did a little bit of running in that race. And I actually feel like now that we've seen her on dirt enough times to know that she's not that good a dirt horse, this horse might be okay on turf. Her turf debut at Kentucky Downs, I know it was sprinting, but she was really impressive.
And she's at the catch firm turf in her career, and breaking from this inside post, I think she can get a good trip. I agree. I thought she ran okay considering the turf condition, the fact that there wasn't a lot of pace, and the quality of competition. Of course, Rushing Fall came back to run second, probably best in the Edgewood with a 91, and the second and third place finishers of the Appalachian came back to run 2-3 in the Pen Oaks with 90 and 88 Beyer speed figures respectively. She could easily win. To me, though, she's not the kind of horse that I would really be so excited about taking a short price, even at the 7-2 range.
Yeah, we'll see how the wagering all shakes out in this race. There are obviously a lot of different ways to go. The morning line, I don't know if that reflects how the race is going to be bet or not. This horse will take some money in here, though, but I sort of think deservedly so. I think she's a pretty good horse.
Let's take a look at the Timeform US pace projector for this Grade 3 Regret. After we go through the field, I'm a little bit surprised by this. To see Heavenly Love out there on the lead. I know she was a pace presser when she won the Grade 1 Alcibiades on dirt in pretty slow time, but if Heavenly Love is on the lead, how can they be going fast?
Yeah, I agree with that. I don't know. That's another interesting thing about this race too, because there were more horses that are speed types towards the outside.
11, 13,
I don't
12.
I don't see how this horse is going to be anywhere near the front in this race.
I think she might opt for a pocket position, and that would be a pretty good spot for Julian Leperoux. We do see the 8 as part of this pace, and that is Beyond Blame, a horse that you like a little bit. The Grade 3 Edgewood last time out, that was just a disaster for so many horses going into that first turn.
Yeah, she got into a little bit. She bobbled at the start. I think that cost her more than anything else, and then she just got into a ton of traffic early in that race. They were going to rate her anyway, so not that mattered. And she was just in too tough too. I mean, those horses just a little bit too good for her. She couldn't really make an impact on it. But her races leading up to the Edgewood last time, those are all good performances. I feel like she may have been best in all of them. I mean, she ran really well in those races, and she does have speed. You know, it's funny because going into the Edgewood, I thought, I don't know why they don't try and use her speed a little bit more. She's fast early, but it seems like they make a conscious decision to take her off the pace. They were smart to do it last time because the way that race set up, she would have just got swallowed up in that race, and it didn't work out for her. And in this race, maybe they don't want to go forward either, or go to the lead either. But you want to be forward with this horse. She's fast enough to get there.
Agree 100%, and I think she's going to be in a prime position.
Yeah, I think so too.
When this field turns into the stretch. She's trained by the great Brad Cox, and the Edgewood's been solid. The 4th place finisher came back to win the aforementioned Pen Oaks with a 90 Beyer speed figure. Bob Baffert is the 4 Finesse Beret returning to turf. That was a disastrous dirt performance in the Santa Anita Oaks. And while she did face one of the better 3-year-old fillies in Southern California on turf 2 starts back in Miss Bad Behavior, a filly that came back to run second in the Grade 3 Providencia with an 85 Beyer, I just really haven't seen much running from Finesse Beret.
Yeah, I don't, I know that she came over here 2 for 2 in France, but, where's her good race since she's gotten over here? Baffert put her right into stakes races on the turf. I don't know. To me, she didn't do that much running in any of them.
Cabela is the number 10. This is another horse that had a little bit of trouble going into the first turn of that Edgewood, and like Beyond Blame, did some very good work at the fairgrounds over the winter. Unlike Beyond Blame, she really is a one-run closer that's going to need a little bit of luck in this big and bulky field.
Yeah, she'll need a trip, but she should have the pace to run at in this race, and that will help her. She defeated Beyond Blame twice at the fairgrounds this winter. Both times that she won, I thought Beyond Blame ran the better race.
This is one of the rare flatters that can run on turf. It's the 11 romantic moment for Shug McGahee. Her 2 turf starts ever since Shug stretched her out. Boy, she's just been good, and she's shown speed. And I wouldn't be surprised if Jose Ortiz is like, there isn't a ton of pace in here. I'm stuck on the outside. I want to break, and I want to get a great spot, if not outright on the lead.
Yeah, she has speed, but it's not runaway speed. It's sort of controlling speed, where they can just put her wherever she wants. When she made her turf debut debut 2 starts back. She actually broke to the front in there, but they were perfectly content to just track off another horse. So she doesn't have to be on the lead. And you're right, you know, the flatters, I tend not to like them at all on the turf. Obviously, the Dam side carries the day here because the Dam was a good turf horse. She's dropped 2 really good turf horses, and this is a good turf horse. I like both of her races on the grass.
I love to annoy you with post-position statistics sometimes in these kind of races.
Sometimes.
How about this? Daily Racing Form has numbers going back to the mid-90s. At 1 1/8 on the turf at Churchill Downs, posts 11 and out are 6 for 199. Does that concern you with horses like the 11, who is certainly a contender, the 13 Stave, Go Nani Go for Mike Maker, or does their natural speed in a race without much pace give them a better chance?
And listen, they need to use their speed to get a position in this race. That's obviously not a good post-position statistic. I don't think you want to be out there. And it does bother me a little bit. I'm staying positive on Romantic Moment just because, and this may not be the spot for her, especially if she can't get the trip she needs. But going forward, she's one of the horses I think you want out of this race. Stave is, you know, another horse I think is going to be compromised, but I like her last 2 races quite a bit. I hate her post position.
I hate her post position. I like her. She earned a 118 time form U.S. speed rating for her race at Keeneland 2 starts back, far and away the best time form speed figure of anybody in this field. And she backed that race up at this distance at Churchill Downs with a really nice trip last time out, pressing the pace on the outside and then winning in professional fashion. I know there wasn't a ton of pace in here. She's going to have to overcome a lot. 8-1 though on the morning line, considering what she's done. That's fair.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think the pace, the price is going to be fair on her. If she can overcome the post and get some kind of a trip, I think she's a dangerous horse. But there are really some things working against her in this race.
Go Nani Go, the 12s, returning to turf after competing on synthetic on her last 2 races. And while she won the Bourbon at Oaks nicely 2 starts back, I just thought she was cooked on a really hot pace last time out in the Celine against a nice filly and Dixie Moon, who came back and won the Woodbine Oaks with an 88 buyer. I'll throw out the Celine, but the Bourbon at Oaks doesn't get me excited. In her turf form, I think she's better on scent.
Yeah, I agree with that. Her 2 wins on the turf, you know, okay, one of them a 5.5. I mean, they're both blowouts. One of them at 5.5 furlongs in her turf debut for a different trainer. And since then, I mean, her turf races are only okay.
How about Secret Message? Tough to get a read on her turf debut because it was over Preakness weekend over a ridiculously soft turf course in the Hilltop. Super Striking's a solid enough runner. It's hard to take any kind of speed figure, any kind of race line from that week with any kind of seriousness. I thought she was okay in the allowance race 2 starts back. She obviously has to run faster, but she's really well connected.
Yeah, she's well connected. She's really well bred. It wasn't. I mean, I was going to say it's not surprising that she handled turf, considered her pedigree in that last race. But I don't even know if she handled it. I mean, that turf. I don't even want to call that a turf race with the surface they were running over. She was second, almost. You could almost say by default in there. You know, somebody had to be second. She was well beaten. I don't know. I don't want to put too much stock into that race. But on the other hand, I'm not going to be surprised if she runs well in here. I think she's okay, that horse.
I think Cash Out's got a sneaky chance at a big price. Again, as we've mentioned, Rusty Arnold's just having a really wonderful meet. And this is a horse that's had a couple of trips here or there. The Florida Oaks, I just didn't really think worked out from her from a pace standpoint and trip standpoint. And I thought the Swedish Chant, a lot of things didn't work out either. She's kept some good company. Last time out, yielding ground at Keeneland. I thought she ran okay.
She ran okay in that race, especially when you just consider Romantic Moment, just controlled the pace from the outset. I mean, right to the front, was always in control. This horse came 4 wide around the turn, and I thought she was game to be second. She was no threat in there, but she was game to be second. The Florida Oaks, okay, I think it was just a little too tough for her in that race. I mean, that really was a closer's race, and she was last at the top of the stretch. Those horses just kicked away from her. They were just too good for her.
In from Southern California, Consolida picks up the services of John Velasquez for Patty Gallagher. This horse is a multiple winner on synthetic. Analyze her turf form. It looks slow on paper.
Yeah, so far her turf races aren't going to get it done in here. We'll see if she can step forward.
She's pretty lucky. The 3, interestingly enough, just won on dirt and is going back to turf. She seems like a better dirt filly, but at least she does have that tactical speed. I wonder if Corey Lannery has her forward.
Right, get a good trip. Lannery, knowing him, will probably try and get through on the rail at the top of the stretch. I mean, her 2 turf races aren't disasters. They just don't seem like they're as good as her dirt races.
And go Google yourself who was the beaten favorite on dirt last time out behind She's Pretty Lucky. Another one returning to turf. Now, she has limited turf experience. It was her career debut sprinting where she finished behind Heavenly Love. I kind of think this is an okay turf pedigree for a horse in sneaky good form.
I agree.
I just kind of like her better on dirt right now.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. I mean, she's clearly an improved horse, and it doesn't have to be the dirt that improved her. It could just be that she's improved with experience and she's improved with some distance. Now she's back to turf going long. This could really work out. She's going to be a great price in here.
50-1 on Lemon Princess, a maiden who just seems in a bit too tough for a good trainer.
Well, she's been in pretty tough races right along on the turf, and they're just going to try another one.
Let's take a look at our top selections for the Grade 3 Regret Stakes. You like Beyond Blame in here, the number 8 for Brad Cox. Probably going to get the jump on my 13 Stave turning into the lane.
Yeah, we'll see what kind of trip he can get, or she can get in this race, because I think she has that kind of positional speed to get forward. And if she gets a trip, I like all of her turf races.
8, 11, 1, and 6 for Mike. Boy, I hope Stave can work out a trip and just go against that 6 for 199 post position stat. Posts 11 and out at this distance on this turf course. But I do have liked what I've seen from her last 2 turf races for trainer Larry Jones. It's up to Gabriel Sias to be aggressive and find a spot without losing too much ground going into the turn. 13, 1, 11, and 8 for me in the Grade 3 Regret Stakes. Race number 9 at Churchill Downs on Saturday evening is approximate post time of 10:11 Eastern. Good luck.